I hope you're ready to try something new, everyone. This is Acid Roots. So, we're going to talk about Missy Elliott, and the thing about this is her latest release. It's called The Cookbook, and what you get is, what she's known for is usually like some dance and motivated records. So, I remember a handful of them when I was younger. Those songs were up, but it's been a distance since we heard anything from her, and I kind of felt like as long as I'm gonna do this and continue to cater to an audience, I kind of thought, well, let's add some new things. If you watched my vlog video about there needing to be more female juggalettes, and mainly we just need people who are going to perform, I figured, this is someone, dance clubs are a definite spot to go to. And, looking for this continuously, there are people that are making these records. And so 2005 is distant, but I do feel like this was an ignored album. Just because if it would have been super successful, she probably would have followed it up. So, I'm not saying it wasn't successful, but it just felt as if it was overlooked. So, Missy Elliott's The Cookbook. There's 16 songs on this release, and about, 2/5, maybe even 3/7 of the album is about dance records, and you just get a lot of stuff that has to do with going out. It's like a little bit more of a packed version of a Sierra album, so I definitely feel as if this is a good thing to enjoy. And so we get Sierra's on the first radio song that you hear. And, besides that, there's another song that you likely have heard. So, my complaints about the release are just the fact that there's really not beats on this that are just defining, that you could hear repeatedly years from now. And I feel like even Lose Control kind of gets buried underneath all the dance songs that you're going to hear, but this is a slick song to smoke to and everything. Unfortunately, there just isn't really like a clone of the song. I feel like Party Time is a close one, On, and My Struggles kind of, but we'll talk about the weaknesses a little more as we get to it. The production, this is kind of the weakness of this release, is that, well, some of these could use a more effective way of getting the punch out there, because, I think at her roots, Missy is kind of like in the same vein as Beyonce, and, not playing to this strength is kind of, it's not the best idea. But so naturally what you get is just records. It feels as if this record was supposed to be larger, but there was something behind the reason as to why it just didn't blow up as much as it could, because that Lose Control song was brilliant. And then you're kind of like, well, what went wrong? Because you think doing that song another 3 or 4 times, and you've got the best dance album of 2005. I mean, Beyonce wasn't there that year, Sierra wasn't, Khalees wasn't, so there's not that many people in this genre, and we could use it. I mean, definitely, I still feel like dance music that's not EDM is very blank right now, and we just could use someone to kind of bring that back. And even more of like the horrorcore genre still is going to want to go out, and this is the type of music that you go out to. Just finding a groove is, it's very basic, just kind of going back and forth with the song. As simple as that, it feels as if you're stiff, you may not be as vibrant. You might not connect as much with people, but the unheard song. So this is the juice of it. Really, as I listen to this, now that I'm listening to 3-6 Mafia and these guys more, like, the thing about it is I'm kind of torn as to whether or not these songs are going to be in the same vein. I didn't have this problem with Sierra because obviously, people, there's gonna be females out there that are gonna dance to this, and that's all it takes. But, considering Missy did not do this as common as she could have, that's the biggest weakness with the cookbook. So there's records that are kind of more, the volume knob is turned down, and it's a little bit more of a realistic vision, and it just kind of feels like an R&B record that only, just was relatively tame. Like Teary Eyed does that, and Remember When, and a couple other ones, time and time again. But this record had more almost songs on it than a lot of them, but I just can't quite figure out if, the same type of, the music that is becoming what I'm liking lately is going to find this. So, obviously to me, it's not about caring about people's opinion, but, listening to this and, listening to this release and trying to figure out if people who are similar to what you're liking would even like this is kind of the tough part. So I'm going to say some of them. The immediate ones are Lose Control, On, and Bad Man. And that's 3 out of 16. There's also another couple almost songs that kind of work, but Party Time is one of them, My Struggles, and We Run This. Now these 3 songs are club songs, but they just feel a little bit healthy. They just feel like, kind of like the healthy popcorn. That's what it reminds me of. Not many people like healthy popcorn, and if they do, you just got to loosen up a little bit, but it just feels more like healthy club songs. And, just Lose Control is probably one of the best songs on this album. We just needed another couple songs that were as good as this. That's 6 out of 16. But there are other club songs on here. They just do not work as much for me. Like, I kind of felt like Irresistible Delicious and Can't Stop. These were some other ones, but I get the feeling you guys probably won't resonate with you as much either. So that really leaves just about 6 or 7 out of 16. So, but luckily there are some numbers on here, and it's enough to say, like, hey, this is like some extra music that's, provides some good dance music, and that's what we need. But, if you listen to the whole thing, you will find some stuff, but I feel like a lot of people are just not really wanting the energy to be toned down. So, but I want to recommend this, but it just is like a notch beneath recommending. I still want you to check out these songs, but you'll probably notice that like the entire CD is not top shelf. So I'm gonna give this album a 3.5 out of 10 because 6 out of 16, that's a little bit close to 8. But then I really only like 3 songs out of 16, which would be more like a 2. But if I do end up liking these almost songs, that's about a 3.5 to a 4 out of 10. So, but it's still worthwhile, and I do feel like it's something that, you could get some more of. It's a good topic for the moment. So the future, Missy's coming back. We'll see what happens. Is this album social? That I'm gonna give a 4.5 out of 10, just because Missy's had albums worth of hits on there. I might review some more of those down the road, but really, just she needed more than 1 or 2 hits. That's like the biggest thing, is just you're gonna notice that. So that's the reason why. But she's a confident dance artist, and you just have to remember that. So I give this album a 3.5 out of 10 and a 4.5 social. Subscribe for more fun.